everybody. Welcome to the program. I am Tom Reynolds. We are live. We are here. It's a what day is it today? it's it's an important thing to know. The day of what day it is. It's a Wednesday, the 16th. Yeah. Oh boy. I'm your commentator, and I don't know what day it is. Jesus. We're a little we're in the land of Loster. Um but nonetheless, I am here. I am mostly queer, and I hope you enjoy the program as much as I enjoy making it for you. We're just getting the chat set up because we have to do it as we come into the show. So we're doing that, and we're setting up the chat. And I'm in a weird mood, to be honest. I know exactly what we're gonna talk about, so that's okay, right? That's always good. When you know exactly what we're gonna discuss and talk on.
Exactly
So
what we're going to talk.
that's always a fantastic happenstance. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and it's gonna be a show, and we're live, and I love this particular story that we're gonna talk about first because it's like there's no loyalty, like the difference between the Democratic side and the Republican side is we Democrats, we have loyalty, right? There is a little bit of loyalty with the Democratic side. We like to, you know, um, um, I don't know, bring in debate, bring in questions, bring in analysis. But in the end, I think that we're all loyal, even if we disagree, to each other, because we're trying to fight the Orange Menace, who is Donald Trump. So we do that, um, and it's not easy, but it is what it is, and we have loyalty. We don't have the thing we don't do like the Republicans do. The Republicans have this thing where you must take these pledges. Like you got to take the pledge to prove how loyal you are, because they won't actually believe you saying, "Oh, we're loyal." So you got to take a loyalty pledge. Trump did the opposite. Trump did the opposite of the loyalty pledge, my friends. Trump was basically, I'm not gonna pay you for your loyalty, because Trump doesn't like to pay his bills. He doesn't like to pay his um ingratitude. He doesn't like to pay. He just Trump doesn't like to pay people back. So Trump says he'll ditch Pence if he makes a comeback bid in 2024. So this is from Talking Points memo, and uh Trump hasn't said whether he's going to run again or not. But the Washington Examiner asked him, and he said, "I don't think people would accept it." Talking to him on a Tuesday interview at Mar-a-Lago. The former president reportedly complained about Pence's refusal to play along with the election fraud falsehoods, and is not happy that Joe Biden is president because he blames Mike Pence. It's really that simple. He blames Mike Pence for him not being president. He doesn't take any response. Oh, that's the difference too between Republicans and the Democratic side. Is the Democratic side takes responsibility when we screw up. We say, "Oh yeah, we got shellacked." Remember when President Obama did that? Yeah, we had a shellacking. There is some responsibility taken in that happening, and it's not on the Republican side. And your leader, Donald Trump, is not going to do it. So, dear leader Donald Trump is like, yeah, no, I'm not cool with Mike Pence. He's still a friend, though. He's still at, at least I'll give this to Donald Trump. Donald Trump has not gone so far as to say that um, I don't know who Mike Pence is. When Donald Trump has officially had it with somebody, he doesn't know who you are. You could have a long and storied history with Donald Trump and past and documented and everything else, but the minute Donald Trump whiteouts you and is like, I don't know who he is, then you're done. It's the old Sopranos thing. She's dead to me. Mike Pence isn't quite dead to Donald Trump yet, but it sure as hell seems that way. And oh, by the way, Donald Trump is just a bitter old man. If you didn't already know, Donald Trump is bitter about everything. And it does not take any responsibility. The party of personal responsibilities leader does not take any responsibility. Got it? Good. Okay. So there's that. Um, and hey Jim, how are you? Nice to see you again in the chat. Um, so we're talking Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is saying that Mike Pence not so much on the ticket. Mike Pence, yesterday's news. Mike Pence, he was loyal to me, but not loyal enough. So I'm gonna throw that loyalty under the bus. We're just gonna say, out of here, Mike Pence. You're done. Nothing for you. That loyalty, that doesn't count. Now they're framing it as if Mike Pence runs for office and primaries with Donald Trump. He wouldn't be on the ticket. But Donald Trump is telegraphing to his supporters in the Trump cult that, look, Mike Pence, persona non grata. He is not welcome at Mar-a-Lago. He will not be staying at any of my hotels. And probably, I would hasten to say that Mike Pence is better off not staying at any of the Trump facilities or doing any dealings with Donald Trump. I think that would be a mistake for him. Um, that's just my opinion on it. That's the show, an opinion show, where we wake you up to the issues, Woke Talk Radio. Um, here in the lavish FY Nation studio. By the way, we do not have a golden EMV microphone. In fact, we have nothing golden. Not even a golden toilet seat for Donald Trump to sit on. So, he is upset. He's mad. And he said this: Mike and I had a great relationship, except for the very important factor that took place at the end. We had a very good relationship. Translation: Mike Pence bent over and took it anytime I wanted to until the end. I haven't spoken to him in a long time. Well, you don't need him anymore, so why would you do? I mean, this is the way this relationship between Mike Pence and Donald Trump is. It's one step away from being you're dead to me. Or in Trump and Z language, I don't know who you are. I never met him. I'm frankly shocked he hasn't gone that far and pulled that trigger where I've never met him. I don't know who he is. So there's that. Feel free to text us at hashtag FYI Live. leave a comment in the comment section. We will put the comment up for you and have some fun if you comment while you're watching the video. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on FYNation.com where we stream the show, and you can follow along as well. So there is that. Um, so um, let's see. I love when people just give me bad news during a show. But that being said, Donald Trump, bitter, bitter, bitter man, mostly pathetic, and 1000% horse's ass. But he still likes Mike, according to the Examiner report through Talking Points memo. And he's on a revenge tour. Because who does revenge better than Donald Trump? Mike thought he was going to be a human conveyor belt, that no matter how fraudulent the votes, you have to send them up to Old Crow, what he calls Mitch McConnell. But that turned out to be wrong, because now, as you know, they are favorably working to try and get that so the vice president cannot do what Mike said he couldn't do. Where's that gaslighting? Oh, because the ECA and it's not actually in motion? Obviously, they were either lying, misrepresenting, or they didn't know. I was disappointed in Mike. Well, I was disappointed in Mike too, but for different reasons. I was disappointed in Donald Trump. Pence, in his part, has completely bent over backwards defending the certification of Biden's win, which Orange Menace is completely just in a hissy over. So there's that. Yeah, there's nothing really to get excited. This is not an old story. This is not even shocking. This is what we're going to see more of if Trump wins. Frankly, this is what we're going to see more of. More bullying, more I didn't know who he was, more gotcha, gonna get you politics. This is what you can expect. Explain to me how that's a good thing, please. You got to be out of your mind to want more Donald Trump in 2024. You just have to be crazy to think that Donald Trump is going to do anything but underwhelm and over neglect things in 2024. I don't see him doing anything. I don't see him doing anything good. So, from unsurprising news to a good news, bad news story. We talked about this and we presented this story on Tuesday about Joe Manchin, and Monday about the pick that Joe Manchin had issues with. And we presented that she was a fine pick. There shouldn't be anything wrong with her. the Fed chair nominee should be confirmed for the vice chair. But that is not going to be so. That is not going to be something that is a positive for President Biden. Raskin withdraws Fed vice chair nomination, is the headline from The Hill. Sarah Bloom Raskin, nominated to serve as Federal Reserve Vice Chair of the Supervision, withdrew from consideration Tuesday after the moderate senators, 3 of them, effectively blocked her path to confirmation. So, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and Joe Manchin, 2 Republicans, and Joe Manchin, basically a Republican, block Sarah Raskin, a Biden-nominated pick, to the Federal Reserve as vice chair, because they were uneasy with her. And this is despite her readiness and despite having been confirmed by the Senate with broad bipartisan support twice in the past. She was subject to baseless attacks, and that's that. Raskin served as Deputy Treasury Secretary and a member of the Fed Board of Governors during Obama administration. She was unanimously confirmed to both positions in the Senate and also served as the state of Maryland's chief financial supervisor. Raskin in 2020 did the motherload of bad things. Urged the Fed not to offer emergency loans to fossil fuel companies struggling to stay afloat, and criticized investing in oil and gas companies. She was an activist for environmentalists, if you believe the right-wing framing. She urged regulators and banks to pay closer attention to ways to climate change can upend the financial system, drawing fierce opposition from the fossil fuel industry. GOP and Joe Manchin have criticized the Fed and other financial regulators for paying special attention to the ways climate change potentially poses financial stability risks. It's true. And Raskin would use the Fed to defund the industry. Okay, what's wrong with that? An industry that should be out of business anyway. There's nothing wrong with these things. Yeah, in the Republican eyes, this is bad and this is disqualifying and this can't be happening. So instead of a confirmation fight, she did the honorable thing and said, "No, I'm not going to do this. I'm just not going to do this. Sorry." She was for climate change action. And she got shafted. During the confirmation hearing last month, Raskin said it would be inappropriate for the Fed to impose regulations meant to steer funding from one sector of the economy to another. She also drew a distinction between her opposition to pandemic emergency loans for fossil fuel companies and her responsibilities overseeing bank regulation if confirmed to the Fed. Even so, GOP senators insisted Raskin was to use her federal purse to penalize banks who funded the fossil fuel industry. I say we need more of that, penalizing banks who fund the fossil fuel industry, not less. But I'm a partisan on that issue. But if she says, yeah, I'm not going to do that, take her at her word. But instead, you gotta go up to BS Mountain and climb that hill and deal with these ingrates. And it's just, it's sickening. She would have needed unanimous support from all 50 Democratic members to be confirmed without any Republican crossover votes. But McMansion, announced Monday morning he would not vote for Raskin because of her views on climate. So he torpedoed a Biden pick. Again, explain to me blue no matter who. Because this doesn't look like blue no matter who. And Murkowski and Collins were the two Republicans who are just like, oh, they cross the aisle sometimes. Well, they're against her because of climate change. And to me, that's a red flag. They're just like any other Republican. They're behaving in such a horrifying way. And here we have the horrifying consequences of their behavior. What do we get? What do we get? We get a dead confirmation, and the nomination is out the window, and we got to go back to the drawing board to get somebody that will appease Susan Collins and Murkowski and Joe Manchin. Why are we appeasing these people? These fossil fuel friendly nutters. Why are we appeasing them? We shouldn't be. We should be doing everything but appeasing them. And we should be taking them to the woodshed for this type of action. So there's your final update on that drama for the week. If you dare decide that you are going to have any kind of want to deal with climate change, Joe Manchin is going to torpedo you. It's that simple. He's going to torpedo you, and it's going to be it. Explain to me how he's a Democrat again. I'll wait. Explain to me how Joe Manchin, a fossil fuel zombie, has so much power. I'll wait. Explain to me how blue no matter who is supposed to work when Joe Manchin can't even follow it for the president of the United States. I'll wait. Explain to me how you're supposed to make the argument the Democratic Party is no different than the Republican Party when the Democratic Party torpedoes its own nomination because of one fossil fuel zombie. I'll wait. Explain to me how this does not make you livid. I'll wait. This should anger you. This should be a signal that we don't have our act together. She's been given positions before by the Senate unanimously. Now they have a problem. They would, and they don't even have a problem. There's no real problem here. This is kowtowing to the fossil fuel industry because they didn't get their emergency loans and they didn't get their way. Revenge politics. So now we're stuck with finding a vice chair Fed nominee that will appease Murkowski, Collins, and Manchin. If, oh my God, if Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did today what Joe Manchin did, the right and the Democratic establishment would be going nutso. They would be flipping out. They would not be able to contain their anger if Ilhan Omar or any member of the squad behaved in the way that Joe Manchin behaves as a Democratic person in power. We'll be right back. You should be angry, Jess, by the way. You should be very, very angry. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Welcome back to the show. This is Woke Talk Radio. My name is Thomas Reynolds. We're in the second half hour. Yeah, it's a show. It's on. Tell your friends, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, hashtag FYI Live. Seems to be quiet today. Seems like everybody, does everybody have the midweek blues? Is that what's going on? We all have the midweek blues, or we're all a little bit just over it? Is that what is a happening in the happenstance land? I know I got the midweek blues. I know I am freshly over everything today, um, which has set my mood. Um, it's not. Look, um, it happens to the best of us. I got some good news today. I got some bad news that evened out, and we're all in this together. And it's kind of like these stories, some good, some bad, some funny, some not. We're all in this together. But I don't know, man. Sometimes you just got to take a deep breath, hold your sanity in place, and hope for the best. And that's all you can do. And I'm Tom Reynolds on Woke Talk Radio. Hashtag FYI Live. Leave a comment in the comment section. All the ways to get in touch with us. Yeah, we're just we're just going out. By the way, Tara Devlin has Tom Hartman on her show tonight. So just a little announcement for Terror Buster. Tom Hartman will be joining Tara Devlin tonight. I can't wait to watch that. That's going to be interesting. Um, I just can't wait. I I really get a chance to see how she interviews, and I want to see how her style is, and I'm sure it's completely wonderful. But we'll see how it goes. And see what happens. But yeah, so this poll, I may take the rest of the half hour on this poll. Um, because it's that um not good for Joe Biden and stirs trouble for the Democratic side. This Breitbart article, which had this poll in it, um, and they love this. They just can't help themselves. Um, they just can't help themselves, and that's all. It's all good, Jim. If you have something to say, be my guest. Say it, don't say it. I'm only looking for people to participate, and just watching the show is participation enough for me. Just listening to the show is participation enough for me. I'm happy with that. So don't you dare worry, my friend. We're not in the revenge category of you did me wrong because you didn't do it this way. We're not Republicans. We're Trumpanzees, if you will. Poll 69% of voters say a nation on wrong track under Joe Biden. What track would we be under or on with Joe Biden not as president? With Donald Trump as president, what path? 69% of voters believe that the nation is on the wrong track under Joe Biden, according to the Morning Consult political poll released Wednesday. Only 31% told the pollsters the nation is headed in the right direction under Biden's presidency, and a 38-point gap in opinion. Biden's polling numbers have drastically changed since last year in March, when the nation was evenly split in the direction of the nation. Excuse me. The mood among Americans comes as the nation undergone significant challenges in the part due to Biden's leadership. And Breitbart lists all the reasons. This is fun. This is going to be a fun list, folks. Why the average American is mad? We got fentanyl. We got inflation. We got 2 million migrants crossing the border. We got gas prices. We got weekly wages shrinking, supply chain issues, and the Afghan withdrawal. Deeply embarrassing the nation, Breitbart tells it. They that sounds like the average American to me, right? The only one that I could point to that I would say that the average American right now is facing is weekly wages shrinking and gas prices. All the others are right-wing talking points. Fentanyl killer. The average American is upset about fentanyl killing 18 to 45-year-olds. No, that's a talking point from the right wing. The Gas prices are all-time record highs. Okay, there's a war going on, and we're going to raise the interest rates to counteract that, and we're going to also, which we've already seen, a price in oil barrels drop a little bit, but it has to catch up, maybe because of price gouging. Supply chain issues, that's China's fault. And our previous administration's issues with, oh, I don't know, free trade issues. Biden hasn't done anything with free or international trade or anything of that nature. So if you want to talk about supply chain issues, go to Donald Trump because he's the closest one to have done anything with trade. With the redo of NAFTA. And by the way, the part 2 always sucks. Not for nothing. And then we have just the obvious, which is Afghan withdrawal, which the average American is, yeah, okay, upset about it, but not like it's not gonna make up their minds on things for the average American. I mean, come on. It's not that great, but they're literally trying to Jimmy Carter this man. Is what they're trying to do. They're trying to Jimmy Carter President Biden and make it so he is a one-term president and make it so he doesn't have any popular support because this is what they want. This is their fever dream. Getting Donald Trump back into office. And we have to be protection and barriers to that actually happening. It's an absolute must to that actually happening. I don't know how else to put it. Because their job approval is 41%, 56% disapprove. Independent voters, 33% approve, 61% disapprove. And I will go back to this again and again. That independents are just Republicans who don't want to admit it. Trump negotiated withdrawal and set the terms and timeline. Absolutely. Another thing that's Trump's fault. Thank you, Jim, for reminding me. So none of this is causation by Joe Biden being president of the United States. And if you believe it is, you're a schmuck. So 61% of independent voters disapprove. And they look at that number and they say, oh my God, he's going to lose the independent voters. We're going to lose the people who don't want to admit they're Republicans? Or lean Republican? Or lean conservative? The independents. Gotta be kidding me. Give me a break. Apparently the 18% of voters strongly approve of Biden, while 42% strongly disapprove, and 24-point difference overall. The poll gave Biden a 41% approval rating with 56% disapproving. And it's all Biden's fault. Trump negotiated withdrawal and set the terms. Anyone would have been screwed, Jim says. And following Trump is like following elephants into a circus. I'd go as far to say, Jim, that's like following anybody in the Republican Party, whether it be Rand Paul or Donald Trump. So they amplify this poll. They amplify the poll to get people to think that this is how the country is turning, and get Republicans motivated to go out and vote. So are you motivated to go out and vote? I'm motivated to go out and vote. This poll doesn't represent me. I approve of what Joe Biden hasn't done anything wrong. In fact, he's been relentlessly blocked by Republicans on a constant basis. That is not Joe Biden's fault. The fault is the Republican Party. The date of the poll, thank you for asking, was let's see, 3:11 to 3:14. 2005 registered voters polled. So that's the date and the time of the poll. But it's just it's a snapshot that doesn't mean anything. Like they're trying to, like me and Tara had this conversation off air, and it's about time we had it on air. These polls in the long run don't mean a damn bit of difference. The media it's to drive a media narrative. It's to drive Breitbart's narrative. Look how bad Joe Biden's doing. We must be right about Joe Biden because he's doing this bad. It's not anything informative, and not for nothing. You could frame the question in such a way to get the answer you want for a negative or a positive response. I mean, that's simple happenstance of how it goes. We have to be honest about these polls. These polls are done for clickbait. These polls are done to fit a narrative so they can point to a poll and say, yeah, I was right the whole time. I was right the whole time. Because you could be damn sure that if a poll said 96% approve of Joe Biden, they would not be running it on the front page of Breitbart. But a poll that's close to 70% of registered voters against Joe Biden on the right and wrong track. Well, we can run with this narrative, can't we? We can run that at the flagpole. We can play with this all day long and put it on the front page to boot. I don't think I'm wrong here. You know, the outlet, Morning Consult, and Political, fine, good team doing the poll. Trustworthy team. But make no mistake about it, this is a poll on the Breitbart main page because that's the narrative they want to tell. That is the narrative they are happy and mad to perpetuate. The and the Republican talking points are all there. High gas prices, Afghanistan, inflation, all the things that they throw on Joe Biden that Joe Biden has no control the supply chain. When did Joe Biden have control over the supply chain? And Joe Biden running for president never said as president it's all my way or the highway like Donald Trump did. Because Joe Biden wanted to be inclusive. So you're going to get setbacks. You're going to get things that don't go the way. But this is a, a way for people on the right and the far left to say, look at that Joe Biden. He's not on the right track. He's not doing what he said he'd do. He's not having any follow through. He's weak. He's a horrible president. He's worse than Jimmy Carter. That's their excuse. Now they have a poll. Now they have a poll to be able to say all those things. To run with their narrative. Instead of finding ways to work with Joe Biden and the Biden administration, especially talking to the left, finding ways to work with Joe Biden and the Biden administration, we don't get what we want. We're just going to criticize, and we're going to use Republican talking points as we do it. Because why be original? Why make it make sense? This is how these people are. It's scary that these people are this way. It's nauseating that these people are this way. And it should bother people that this poll is something that is going to be used by the far left and the right to justify how they feel. This president has had everything possible thrown at him that are not things of his own making. And then to top it off, you get people like Joe Manchin, who we talked about earlier, not doing the right thing for the party. It's a pretty broken group of folks on their side. Jim talking about the right wingers. Absolutely. Let's move that down a little bit so it's not blocking. No, absolutely. It is a broken group. And it's unfortunate that we're here. But as they say, here we are. And they're going to use this as fodder to attack, and that's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they're happy doing. They don't care about anything else. And that's what we're stuck with until we vote them out, until we make it where people who are not in this way are in power. So the final story of the day, we got about 8 minutes left of the program. Final story of the day. Russia. Russia and Alaska are having a cat fight. Like everything going on. Let's have a cat fight with Russia. Let's do that. And let's make it a headline for clickbaitiness because that seems like a good idea. Right? So, um, this article from The Blaze, excuse me, Alaska governor filed. Maybe I shouldn't eat before a show, but when do I get to eat? Um, Alaska governor fires back after Russian PM demands reparations from U.S., including Alaska and part of California. Oh, the big bad tough Alaska governor. I hope we can get Sarah Palin in on this too. Russian MP Oleg Minerichev appeared on Russian TV on Sunday, where he boasted that Russia is going to raise the stakes and our victory, according to the Daily Beast. The stakes will include dissolution of NATO because the presence of NATO is some countries getting in our way, and the extradition of all war criminals, citing current and former top Ukrainian leaders. Then Marichev demanded territories reparations, which would include Alaska, a part of Sonoma County in Northern California as well. We should be thinking about reparations from the damage that was caused by the sanctions and the war itself, because that too costs money, and we should get it back. The return of the Russian properties, those of the Russian Empire, the Soviet Union, and current Russia, which has been sieged by the United States and so on. And I thought Republicans had fever dreams. Dear God, talk about a fever dream. So we had that. Oh, and he wants to get down Antarctica as well. The governor, Dunleavy, said, good luck with that. Not if we have something to say about it. We have hundreds of thousands of armed Alaskans and military members that will see it differently. Oh, raise that flag. Dunleavy, you just took that bait, didn't you? You couldn't just leave it at good luck with that. You had to pull out your willy and wave it around. And by willy, I mean your gun. You had to just yank it out and be like, let me spray everywhere with our mean guns and mean military. We're going to get you, Russia. Really? Feed into the Russian propaganda. Why don't you? Trying to be tough guy. Trying to be Tony Soprano of Alaska. It's pathetic. Could have left it at good luck with that. But instead, he can't handle it. Another typical Republican who does not know how to deal with foreign policy. The U.S. purchased the Alaska Territory from Russia in 1867 for $7.2 million. The purchase, according to the State Department, ended Russia's presence in North America, and it ensured U.S. access to the Pacific Northern Rim. Russia, by the way, wanted to unload the territory to further separate Russian territory from the British Empire. And Russia established a colony in Northern California, which is today a part of Sonoma County, north of San Francisco. which Russia sold in 1841. Somebody needs to tell Russia no givesies backsies. I mean, seriously, this is like childish now. We want it back, man. Well, we're gonna fight over it. You're not gonna get it, but we want it back. But we're gonna fight. Really? Yeah, go argue with the guy with the nuclear weapons. That's a good idea, Alaska Governor Mulvaney. That's a great idea. Go argue with the guy with the nuclear weapons. How pathetic is it that this is where we're at? Another Republican, as I said before, without any foreign policy experience, trying to be big bad on the block. By the way, a Democrat would have just stopped it. Good luck with that. Or not even acknowledged it. Like, that's so ludicrous. Why would I acknowledge it? I mean, that could have been the way too. Where that's just so pompous and arrogant and superficial and silly. I'm not gonna acknowledge it. Challenge Vlad to shirtless horse riding. No, I don't need to see that. That is not in my bucket list. Or moose wrestling. Yikes. No, thank you. On that note, we're gonna head out of here shortly. Tomorrow, Jeff Waldorf from around the nation will be with us on the show, and at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So I hope you stick around for that. I'm getting less uncomfortable doing video, so I hope you stick around for the shows that we do. And subscribe, like videos, tell your friends, comment. I, I don't need your money. I need you to get the word out about FYNation.com. Thanks. Have a great day. Stay safe, everyone.